Perfect.
You got the notes, baby?
I do.
Hey.
Okay.
Bam.
Had to get our notes out because we get to talking on y'all.
We will.
And
Ooh, someone's here. Can you comment and tell us who you are?
yeah, we would love to know. So first of all, let's just set this like straight off right.
Ooh, there's 2 people here.
We love to talk to our people. So y'all put on the side where y'all from, or y'all tuning in at. Let us know where y'all at. We like to talk to. We like to interact.
Oh, do you think
with our
Oski and his
friends.
wife are on here?
I don't know, but if Oski
Because
man,
I love them.
if you Oski and I don't know what's his wife's name.
Something with H. Oh my God, I hope they're not on here.
Okay, either way, I'm sorry.
I think it's Hayden.
Shout out to both of them.
Let's see. If it was Oski, he would have come in it by now.
Yeah, maybe so. So, yeah, y'all let us know who y'all are.
All right, we're about to like jump right in.
Yeah.
So today we have made it. I don't think it's today on the mark. I actually think we missed today.
No, we actually not even there yet.
Why?
Because it's the 5th of August.
What's today?
July the 20th. So we off by a little bit is what we're trying to say for our 1 year update. But it's been a year just about.
Her name is Haiti.
Okay. So it's been close enough to a year. I think it's about 20 days now until a year. So I feel like that's close enough to bring the people.
Right. So we're just gonna give you guys an update of like what things we learned in a year. So it may not necessarily be like specific to like the area. It could just be there's some things here that are like personal things that we learned.
Right.
That we just think that you guys should know, like if you want to be successful on this whole moving thing. So these are 7 things that we feel like we learned over the course of the year.
Right. So number 1 is trust the adjustment period. Maybe you want to start off?
Man, that's so serious because I think like when you are going through the steps of moving out of state, it's such a like extreme thing in your mind because it is an extreme thing. But then when you get there, there's not like this extreme instant change of feeling. At least for us, it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
It's like, oh my God, we live in another state and everything is so different in our lives. It kind of felt like when we got here in the summer. But if you guys have been following us previously, then we're from Houston. But it kind of just felt like we were. I just totally spit. Anyway, it kind of just felt like we were home because we got here in the summer. It wasn't as hot as it was at home, but it was hot.
Yeah.
And it really didn't feel different because Denver is definitely a big city and probably headed towards being more of a metropolitan city coming up on its next couple of years because it is starting to experience more of diversity.
Yeah.
So it didn't really feel different. What started to feel different is as we adjusted, the winter came in, then we started to really feel like, okay, we're not at home. But then we got from that place to like, we know that we're no longer in Houston anymore, but we don't think this is our new home.
Right.
So it really just got to the point where we felt like this could probably be a place after traveling, because we still want to travel, but we just got to a place where we're like, this could possibly like be home.
Yeah.
And so I definitely think we have to give it that 6 months to a year.
Yeah. Also, another thing that I felt like contributed to like maybe feeling like it was the same is because really like when you get into Denver, and we're just talking specifically Denver or like, the area. When we first got here, we stopped off in Colorado Springs and it was beautiful. It was all on scenery, mountains, and we were like, oh yeah. And then when we got here, it was nothing like that. It's just city. Like there are points of the city that you go on, like when you're on the freeway, you can see the mountains off in the distance and things like that. But once you're like in the inner city, like currently where we are, there is no view. So it felt like it's just another city does. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So I felt like home because I'm like, home looks
It's
like
a big
this too.
city, yeah.
It's a big city. It looks like this. I mean, the buildings are tall, so you barely can see. So I think like once we started getting out and exploring, went to Fort Collins, went to Estes Park, like went to, did a lot of different things. Then I felt like, oh, okay, yeah, like you said, as the winter came in and it snowed and different things, then you start to see the differences, and then you like, got it,
Cool,
right. So yeah.
So that leads us into our next point, and I think this is a really key point of advice that we didn't do that we feel like you should do, because we actually did have some time in between, but we didn't explore. I don't know why the hell we didn't, but I think you need to set aside a transitional period.
Yeah.
So I think you need to save enough money to, if possible, 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, if you can, somewhere between a week and 30 days for a transitional period,
right,
because you need to be able to explore and do all of those, get that vacation mode out of your mind and be able to explore some things, which is something that we did have some time off, but we didn't do because
it took us a while to actually do like some of our first things, like to actually really go out and explore. It took a while because once we got here, it just was straight work. So
well, then we had that thing where the kids, honestly, another thing that we don't have on this list, if you have children, hypothetically, if COVID is over and kids are in school, you need to look at the difference in when does your school system start and when theirs starts, because here they start really early in the year
and get out really early too.
Right, whereas back home we start like the end of the year. So when we got here, we were like, oh, we got all this time, but actually it was time to register the kids for school, and they were actually like a little bit late. So that was another thing. True. So that's a big one. What's number 3, baby?
Number 3 is networking is key.
Networking is
I'll let
key.
you kind of talk about that one, because that was something you did before moving out, and then still here too. That you do a lot too.
Networking is key, period, on all levels. It's key specifically in the professional realm. Like, y'all, can I just be honest with y'all? Like, just totally transparent. I've changed jobs 3 times since we've been here.
Yeah.
And I'm probably going to have to change jobs again due to COVID. So if I had not networked before we got here, I really don't know what that would have looked like, because Denver is a big city. And one thing that it doesn't have in common with Houston is there's a lot more people here that are really educated. And I'm not saying that the people where we're from are dumb. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it is not uncommon that everybody that you work with has master's degree.
Right. The candidate pool is really
the candidate pool is really aggressive,
sophisticated too.
Right. So and they have good resumes.
Right.
So when it comes to getting, if you're just doing like kind of like, if you're doing like waitressing and stuff like that, you're okay. But if you're like in actual upper management or something like that, you really need to network, because a lot of the job opportunities I have gotten, the reason why it hasn't been hard for me to get a job is because prior to moving here, I was networking with everybody. I had conversations with people. I was doing a lot of like, let's just chat, even if you don't have an opening kind of situation.
Right.
And in times when I had a job, I was still networking with people. Let's meet up for coffee. Let's chat, things like that. So that when they had a opening in mind, when they had an opening, I was one of the first people that they reached out to, because we've already had this conversation and I've kind of already passed the preliminary step. That is super big. And secondly, it's really big on a personal level, because I don't think I realized how hard it would be leaving home where I knew almost everybody. I mean, I lived all over Houston, north side, southwest side, I've even lived northwest, everywhere. So I didn't realize, back home, I could go anywhere and know somebody.
Right.
But here it was like, no.
Definitely had to make sure you kept your contacts.
You definitely had to make sure you kept, And so that kind of brings me into like personal networking, because it's been extremely hard for me, to be honest and just be super transparent, as a Black woman, to make friends that look like me.
Yeah.
And not only friends that look like me, but then friends that are in the same area that I am in life, and then also not just in the same area that I am in life, but somebody that I actually want to be friends with, like that is even on my level. That's been really hard, because let's just be honest. Number one, Denver is a transit city, so
Yeah,
a lot of
a
people
lot
are coming in and out all the time. So that's one thing to consider. And then secondly, I mean, I think it's like under 5% black people, and then taking it a step further to say like what kind of black people are here.
Right,
Which,
right.
you know, I just haven't run into a lot of people that look like me that I would actually like want to be friends with. So I think I wish I would have done a lot more personal networking before I got here. That's a huge thing.
Yeah, that's very much a huge thing.
What's the number 4?
So you covered 3 and 5, so you kind of put those together. So
I
4
did.
is,
Okay,
which is fine. No, it's fine. I just was letting you know. 4 is budget is best. So I think that's pretty.
That speaks for itself. You better have a budget.
Most
Don't come
definitely.
here without a budget. Don't come here with no money.
Because
Don't
it's
come here
definitely
without a
expensive.
plan. Don't do none of that. This
Yeah.
is not the place that you come to and you just like, I got $200. I'm gonna make it. No, you're not. I don't care what the other YouTubers tell you. It's lies.
Yeah, like being out here definitely has opened my eyes to a lot of different things. But the one thing that has always caught my attention is how expensive it really is to live out here. Like,
I think they
if you
said we're
guys
like right
haven't-
under California.
yeah, if you guys haven't checked out how much it costs to live in Colorado, we do have a video on that where we broke down, like, I think for the year, right?
Yeah,
Our
what we felt like you
expenses.
thought you
Yeah,
needed.
right. What we felt like we thought you needed. What was a family? Did we do? Was it for a family of like with us or
No,
I
we
feel like
did. I think we did 2, 4, 6, 8.
Yeah, we did. So small families all the way up to up. So y'all check that out because that will definitely give you some insight and some background and give you some type of, you know, foundation to kind of build up on to know what to expect because it is expensive. So you definitely got a budget. And I think that's for anywhere. I think if you move in, you know, not even just here, from here to Texas or anything, like, you know, you're going to have more money, obviously, maybe back, you know, in Texas, but you still need the budget. You know what I mean? But especially if you're going somewhere like that in reverse, where you paying cheap, but then it's like really expensive, it can get kind of hectic if you're not like, you know, making your budget and stay on top of it. So
Agreed.
make sure that you know, your budget is A1 because you definitely going to need it. You know?
I would definitely say add about 10 to 15%
I would say
to your
that too.
current budget.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a really safe. Oh, that's a really good number.
Yeah.
I would say that too.
And it,
like just
depending
off
on
top.
your family size, I may add 20.
And I may add 20 to be like careful.
If you want to be like have cushion, I would say add 20 because you need to account for the state tax as well as the taxes that you're actually losing from federal taxes, which is about 10%. But then you're losing an additional 15%. So even if you make a certain amount of money and you feel like, oh, I can make it off of this money that I'm making pre-tax, you cannot. So you need to cushion yourself by adding an additional, I would say 20% to what you're making.
That's what I would
when
say.
You come here. And you need to look at that video if you have not considered budgeting because it is not the same, especially if you're coming from the Midwest or the Southern region. If you're coming from the West Coast or East Coast, you're probably okay. You're probably going to end up putting some money back in your pocket unless you're coming from like Nevada or something like that.
Yeah.
But actually, my sister is moving here from Nevada, and I plan on putting her on here to tell you about her experiences coming from another place. Kind of in the West Coast-ish region.
Yeah, that's actually gonna be dope.
Yeah, and my sister's the bum.com.
Yeah,
so like,
let's
period.
just go
and
ahead
like, if y'all
and,
think I'm cute, she's really cute. So it is what it is on that.
Yeah.
Anyways, what's next, baby?
The next one is establish a new norm. I feel like when you move somewhere different, there's always gonna be differences in a lot of things. So I think that a refreshing thing for someone to do is just look at it as a clean slate to just establish a new norm, you know, do something different. You know, if you got kids, maybe, you know, if you in a place as scenic as us, you know, maybe you want to try to get out once a month and see some things or once a week. Like, I think like we've always been outdoorsy, but back home it's just always been work
so
or just
hot,
like hot.
too.
But I think out here, like it's really we've been outside a lot. We go outside a lot. And it's not a hassle. It's not like a, you know, it's just so many spots around here that you can go and sit in the shade and look at the mountains or just whatever, you know. So establish a new norm when you get out here. I feel like that's important too for the adjustment period because you might not do the same things like back home, you know, like You know, up here they got a lot of chimneys and, you know, basements or whatever. You know what I mean? Like just little small things like, you know, you ain't gonna rent a chimney back home in Texas. I mean,
In a
they come with, I mean,
fireplace.
fireplace. Yeah, I'm sorry. You know, a fireplace. You know, up here they do. So, you
I
know,
don't even know why they make apartments with
I don't
fireplaces
know
in
back home, but
Texas.
they
Like,
do.
what are we
And
doing
we've
with
been
that?
in apartments that have
But
fireplaces.
for
I'm
no
like,
reason at
none at
all.
all. But yeah, I'm just like, so, you know, maybe if you're moving out here, like for us, and you just out here and you don't have any family, like, you know, that was something that I was like, oh, you know, we can use the fireplace at times when it's cold outside and we can just sit in front of it and talk at night. And so, you know, that was a new norm for us because, you know, we always sat up and like, you know, did something at home or whatever. But, you know, now that you ain't really got no family and you trying to get that time in, it's like, you know, do that because it's going to get cold and it's going to snow. And so, you know, just do little different things, I feel like.
I think too, like for me, what became frustrating for me very early on, and like a lot of people, they think this would be adventurous, and I did too, but it got very irritating. Was when we lived back home, we kind of had our thing. Like we had the grocery store that we went to. I knew
Right.
everything that I was buying to cook. I knew, you know, we had our gym, we had our this, we had our that, right? So everything we had a routine already, and it was like trying to get that routine, like what's going to be my grocery store, what's going to be my gym, what's going to be my,
Yeah.
that was really irritating
I
for
felt
me.
like that too, yeah, because you don't know where you, that goes back to like budgeting. So I think when we first got here, like one of the first things we did was we looked up like every major like grocery store, like
I did that
retailer.
before we left.
Yeah, and then we went to each one and she would walk in and like look at their meat and look at that because before we went vegan. So like she would like look at their meat, look at their produce, whatever, and come out and judge. So that was frustrating too. Like I can understand because it was like, dang, you know. So we ended up finding one that was, I mean, what we shopped back with at home, it was Kroger's, you know, and of course they
and
don't
then we
have
do
any
Trader
like
Joe's too.
HEBs, but now, you know, we
It's
do
actually King Supers
King
here.
Supers here, but I mean, it was a Kroger company. But that was between that and when we ended up going vegan, it ended up being Trader Joe's. So it worked out. We did Whole Foods, but Whole Foods up here is ridiculously
It's
expensive
expensive, period.
already.
The brand is expensive.
So the brand was already back home expensive, but up here I feel like it's, now that you got the state taxes and all of that, it's higher. Plus, we were just like, nah. So but yeah, you know, that was, and like you said, finding a new gym, just little things. I mean, for mommy, one of her things is like eyebrows and nails and, you know, women things. So it's kind of, it get frustrating to find because back home you said, you know, she had her nail lady, she had her eyebrow lady, she had her, like, she even had a, you know, hair person. Now, you know, of course she does her own hair now, but just little small minor things. Even for me, one of my friends cut my hair, you know, the whole time I was there. Well, he not up here, so, you know, it's just like, you know, so it's just little small minute things I think y'all should take into account.
I think I need to do a whole like video.
I think so.
On like just like keeping yourself up as a woman here, because I'm gonna be 100% honest. Again, being black, it's really hard. It is. Yeah, I mean,
that goes into that too, because there's lack of like black products that we use, and nobody really has that. When you get up here, there's really not like beauty supplies up here, like they do
have beauty supplies, but they're not like the ones we have back home. Like, and I feel like it's real hit and miss on whether they have the product that you use, because I don't really use products that they sell in like Target or Walmart or nothing like that. No, not at all. Like, so I think that was like a big thing. One major thing, which I had to start ordering off of Amazon, is the oil that I used to put in me and my daughter's hair. But I think I'm gonna do a whole video about that because I don't think that a lot of like people realize how dry it is here, and for like Caucasian women or women that are not women of color, that may not be a thing for them. Like they like for the climate to be dry because it keeps their hair from like getting staticky. But for us, that actually helps our hair because we need to keep our hair moisturized. So that was like a big transition. Turn out, how do I keep my hair moisturized? Yeah. Especially when I have dreadlocks. So that was the whole thing too. And then I have another daughter who her hair is like dry. Christian. Right. Yes, so her hair is really, that was a process. Skincare was a process. It was a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Lotions, like all of that. We changed all of that regimen. Gotta change it all. You know, you're right. So yeah, that was definitely it, because it was and even let's just say this was we using at home, because it was a joke when we got here. But I'll tell you too, even down to food. There was a lot of places up here where we were, or a lot of things that we were used to back home, of course, that we were like,
they don't even have like seafood is definitely. I feel like if you're not cooking it up here by yourself, like if
Even
you're not
then,
going
they
to
don't even
get
have it in the store.
right? Then I feel like you can try to make it, but I feel like
Everything's
as far as like
prepackaged.
seafood, they have zero to me. And there's a lot of people that's like, you know, been on our fast food for, have you guys tried? But I just haven't seen it. You know what I mean? So, which is not, you know, a bad thing.
We don't even really eat it.
You know,
so.
we don't eat it, you know, now, but I'm just like, you know, when you move
we
here,
used to,
you gotta know, you know, for all my southern people who, you know, used to like Whataburger, ain't nothing like that up here. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, but then there's other places that
they don't even have an In-N-Out yet.
Yeah, I don't think they have an In-N-Out here either, but they have Smash Burger seems to be huge up here. So, you know,
it ain't good.
It's well, no. Before I would say when we were eating there, it was a couple times we
maybe
went. Maybe
that last time that we ate, but the last time we had that black bean burger, it was awful. It was
bad. Maybe we need to do a fast
food Friday on that. Yeah,
we definitely will. So, but yeah, I think that y'all need to, you know, there's my new things that y'all have to consider too, because you know, moving and all that is great, but you still got to do life. So,
right, you still got to do life.
You know, just got to know. And so the last one is kind of small, but it's also important too. And we put make sure you learn the laws for whatever state you're moving in, because
that's very important.
You know, I feel like it's important, and it might be, you know, left field or right field, whatever. But I just feel like that was another thing too that you need to know, because, you know, all the way down from political backgrounds, if it's blue or red or, you know, whatever, you know,
that's a big thing.
The big thing up here is like, you know, marijuana is legal, and I had this perception that everybody was high up here, and that's literally not the case.
You really, okay? I think people in Texas, because it's so conservative. Everybody's just there smoking weed out in the open. No, they're not.
It's not, and it actually is a lot of little stuff around it to where like you really can't do that.
Yeah,
right. So I was really shocked when we, you know, seen that, and you know, so just learn the laws. I think what else did you learn?
For my Texans, the biggest thing is, or Texans or people coming from extremely conservative states, gun laws are very important that you need to learn here, because I know like one of the things, you cannot have automatic guns.
Yeah,
here.
She learned that.
And in Texas, it is what it is.
Carry.
I mean,
they have open carry.
They have open carry
out here.
I know, but
exists.
You can't. I mean, no, that's different.
Well, right.
What I'm saying is the types of guns that you can have. You can't have the same types of guns here that you can have in Texas. And then when it comes to like hunting and things like that, there's a lot of different hunting laws.
Seasons.
It's just laws. Like back home, it's not as strict in Texas.
Licenses.
They got a lot of They got a lot of hunting laws here and licenses that you have to have, because they want to really preserve their wildlife. In Texas, hunting is a thing.
So yeah, so you got to know that too. If you from South, or I feel like if you from the West, you kind of already, if you moving from Cali to maybe here, just West Coast period. I think that you kind of pretty much got most of it down, because it's it's
still
all
look at it though.
Yeah, still all but I feel like East Coast or North or super North, like moving definitely like Southern to here is definitely gonna be I feel like a 180. Like it's gonna be something totally different. So learn the law. I think that was really good.
I think another thing, like I hate to say, is for African Americans or people of color too, like learn your rights as far as like traffic stops and things like that. That's something to consider. I mean, I don't feel like it's really as big of a thing as here as it was in the South, but then too, we do have people. We did have that one case here. What was his name?
Elijah McClain.
Elijah McClain. Yeah.
So I mean, it happens everywhere.
It happens everywhere, but those are the things you need to be aware of, because I did look into them, and there are some differences.
It's unstable. Please wait while we.
Well, we done anyways.
Yeah, so it seems like YouTube wants to kick us off, maybe.
I don't know why they want to kick us off.
I think we're awesome.
Anyways, that was our last point anyways. Right?
Yeah, it was. So, if you didn't get to tune in and you missed it, of course, it'll be please like, comment, subscribe to the channel, tell somebody about the channel, guys. And we do appreciate y'all tuning in. Check out our old videos. We still got content rolling out, and I promise we are going to get more consistent and upload a lot more consistent. Yeah, it's just been a lot, surrounding us. So this was one of the days where we just was like, let's just stop and talk to our friends, because I don't like calling y'all subscribers. I think that's so. I think
it's bougie.
Yeah,
we're just regular
our
people.
Subscribers. I'm like, no,
our followers.
Right? No,
somehow these people are interested in me.
Yeah,
so they gotta be my friends.
They gotta be our friends, because I mean, they don't really just look on the channel for nothing. So. But yeah, if y'all got anything, make sure y'all reach out to us, man. Follow us on Instagram and Facebook. Both handles are the same. They're the Steamer Step Out. if y'all got questions, we've been getting questions and things like that. We respond. We like to, like I said, interact. Please don't hesitate to comment or ask any questions. She responds. I respond. We just like to, make sure we answering y'all questions. Anything, just please reach out.
Actually, I think when we get off of this, we're going to wear the exact same clothes, and then we're going to shoot a Q&A video of all the questions that we've gotten over the last year.
That'll be perfect. So, yeah. So y'all have a video to watch too with after this. So anyways, y'all have a good night, because I know it's 7:30 out here. So it's 8:30 in the south, and maybe in the east. We got people from the east. It's probably 9:30 right now. So y'all have a good night. And appreciate y'all tuning in. Yep. Oh, and this is a weird part when you're trying to get off of live and don't know how to.
When you got to use the mouse in your car for the computer.
Well, just that ending part where you like an old person. You know how they look all in the camera.
You gotta get your glasses and look up like this.
Anyways, y'all have a good night. Yeah, I was like, end.